I want to introduce myself. I'm Michelle Antalec, and I'm running for the Henderson County Commission from District 1, which happens to be Flat Rock. But Flat Rock is just the District 1 zone that we have, and we actually run county-wide. And so all the Democrats vote in the primary, and all the people that are going to vote in the general election. And I am running against Mike Edney, who has been on the commission for numerous years. The reason I chose to run has to do with the Henderson County budget and how that is handled and how it's allocated. For those of you that know me, realize I've been a financial professional for 30 years. I'm a risk manager for a large corporation, and I look at government and municipal funding continually and have for years. So I have an idea of what needs to go on to make a decision about what projects you're going to do and not do. And one of the things that disturbed me the most about the Henderson board was that some of the county is not getting serviced. They're getting taxed, but they're not getting serviced. And one of those that's the most grievous to me happens to be Fletcher, because they've been asking for a library for years. Their library's crowded. They can't add new books. They can't do anything in the facility that they have, but they have the land. But the commission voted to not fund anything for Fletcher because they have their own tax base. So the commission would like them to put a building on a piece of property that they don't own, that the county owns. So that doesn't make a lot of sense, and really there's the money there to fund a library that could be much needed, especially given the fact that's a growing area of Henderson County. So those types of things really kind of spurred me to get involved, because I can understand the financial aspects of what goes on the commission. The other thing is a lot of people go before the county board and don't really get a fair hearing, because sometimes the county isn't really interested in hearing from the citizens that they actually work for. And that's something I feel needs to change as well. There are other reasons that I wanted to run, and one of them happens to be water. We have an opportunity to keep our water regionalized, or we have an opportunity to let it go to Raleigh. And if it goes to Raleigh, then we lose control over our own water, which is probably the most important resource that any county, any city, any state has. I mean, I can't tell you enough times that you can look into history and see exactly how important water can be, and we need to keep control of that water, because once we let it go, it's gone. I think some of you may have also heard Mark talk about what happened to us with the post office. We let that resource go, and it's now down in Greenville. They can't really service us as well, and we can't get that U.S. Post Office distribution center back for this area because we let it go because we told them we didn't have that much mail. There wasn't a fair assessment of how much business Hendersonville was going to be sending and Asheville was going to be sending down to Greenville. So now our mail is extremely slow, and we can't get that back. And I don't want to see that happen with our water. That, to me, is something we need to fight for. We do have a regional board right now. It's Buncombe and us. But it's much better if it stays with the regional people. Buncombe and Henderson can make their own decisions about how they use that water and where it goes, versus Raleigh taking it away from us and that's it. The next thing that I really kind of got spurred to action on was the fact that we have a $43 million reserve in our county budget. That is a lot of money, and we have a lot of things that could be done in this county, and that reserve is just sitting there and not being put to use. That's a big reserve. We have a $135 million budget. And here's this $43 million reserve over here. And we are not using that money for the types of things that need to be done in this county for it to grow and go forward. One of the biggest things we could be doing right now is trying to attract businesses that could provide a living wage for the younger people in this county, so they don't have to leave, so they don't have to go to Charlotte. And we're not doing that with that kind of money. We're just letting it sit there. And the truth is, Hendersonville can tax us if they need more money. Okay, they've been raising taxes for years. Every time you turn around, you've got a property tax increase. If we don't have to have this reserve sitting there that's just not doing anything productive when we have a lot of needs. And I mean, education, attracting businesses that will actually give a living wage to our younger people and keep them here so they can raise their families in Henderson. which is a great county to live in. And we need to make it a little bit better by making sure that there's those kind of jobs that allow people to have a good life here and not have to work 3 jobs or 2 jobs to make ends meet. And then the last thing that really spurred me to go ahead and run for this office was that we need to bring some integrity back to the board. There are people that are on the board that have been on there for years, and some of those people have been censured, they've been disbarred. They basically don't command respect because they haven't operated in a manner that is trustworthy, and we need to change that. One of the very things about the Henderson County Board is that there are no women on it, and there haven't been for 16 years. And there's 54% of the population in Henderson that is female, and it's about time women get back on the board and hopefully are able to bring the kind of integrity and trust and respect for the board that it deserves, and then the people of Henderson deserve. I mean, they need to have somebody there that will listen, will financially analyze what's going on, and come away with a good, solid reason for doing something. Again, my name is Michelle Antalec. I'd like for you to vote for me, and I'd like for you to come out and meet me at some of these events. I welcome any questions you might have, and I think you could probably get hold of me through our website for the county, which is HCDP. You can find my name there. I'd give you my phone number, but you probably wouldn't remember.